Who would have known? It is 7:50 p.m. right now, and I took an hour nap, and I should have been up, but I'll be honest with you. I woke up at 11:30 today. All right, it's better than I have been waking up like at, sometimes 12:30, 1 o'clock. So I got to experience the day. All right, I was in my blankets, vampire mode, just you know what I mean. Settle down. Not that type of video. What are we playing out here? Vampire Survivors? It's not even that type of video or stream. Editor, you better get the freaking title right this time. I said what I said, sir. However, Poland Spring, you know the deal. Much love to you, amigos. Let's get a little sippage, cleanse the throat piece, of course. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Much love to the Pops for bringing the cases of water, indeed. He's always in the comments section, by the way, so say hi to Papatello. Much love to him. Yeah, this is indeed very good. I seen this is bathed in the waters of Phase 4. Hopefully things look bright. If not, throw everything out, because it's looking bad. However, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's get one more sip in. Oh, yes, indeed. However, in today's video, it's more of a, little discussion just between me and you. All right, let's lower the music a teeny bit right there. However, I hope everyone's having a good day, a good week, leading into the weekend. A lot of things to do. We're over here, always streaming, by the way, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays on Hello J Tello. Maybe it'll be down here. I have no idea what the editor does nowadays. But I want to talk to you about my plans in the next couple, weeks to come. So, obviously, right now, to start off the video, we're going to be talking about, Season of Discovery, right? And right now, at the moment of Season of Discovery, there is obviously, you got to be living under a rock if you don't know this, not a lot of things to do. Okay? There's not a lot of things to do. We can all admit it. It's fine. It's alright. We're getting to that point, okay? But that's okay. Every book and chapter has its close. Everything, has a beginning and an ending. And then we start anew, right? And going into Phase 4. And I'm really excited to see what are the plans that they have to do with Phase 4 and where we're going, what we're leading into, what kind of new things we get to explore or so-called discover, hence the name Season of Discovery, next phase, or hopefully by the end of the month. Now, in my belief, I think this phase is going to come hopefully on the 30th, or maybe we get it around the 6th to the 8th, sometime around that time frame. But I'm looking forward to see what they're going to, announce here relatively soon. Now, my assumption was that this week, in general, by the end of the weekend, we were going to see a blue post, hopefully from Blizzard, about what is the status update on, Phase 4. Can we get any type of information on what we might see, or is there actually a date? Anything, because as of lately, we've noticed there have been very much zero information on Wowhead. Things have been radio silence. We've gotten no data mines, we've gotten no leaks on Twitter, we've gotten no talks on Twitter. Right now, Season of Discovery has been really, really hush-hush, and I think it's, tightly under wraps. Now, let's discuss why is that the case. Are they working on something so massive here, and potentially so, revealing to the entire classic WoW community, where this is going to be, a huge thing to go through within Phase 4 to give us enough content to, have fun with and last and talk about for, days and weeks and months to come? Who knows? I have no idea what they're cooking in the kitchen, but I'm very, curious to see what is going on, because I feel like there is so much potential to take SOD within the right direction with this next phase. I think, and here's the truth to it, right? And this is just me being honest here, because I'm never going to not be honest with you guys. I'm always going to tell you my, how I feel straight up. And listen, and another thing real quick, I don't care how people feel about what I say. If you like it, that's great. If you don't like it, piss off. Much love to you, though. Appreciate you to come to the channel. But I'm always going to state what I feel like I stand behind and I represent as a man. That's what I do, right? And I feel like, if they don't knock it out the park with this one, to be honest with you, we're in trouble. That's what I'm going to say, straight up. This is not good. People will still be playing World of Warcraft, of course. I'm not going to be one of those people saying, WoW is dying. I'm not that type of guy. But I can say that we would be in trouble if this next season doesn't really knock it out the ballpark in terms of how many people are subs to the game, how many people stay with the game, or move on to other titles in general. Because there is a lot of things hanging on the line here for next phase to be really good. Phase 1, we had an absolutely phenomenal time. It was adventure, it was nothing but rune discovery and going through, different areas of the map to explore where the quests were leading us, and people were, all over, like, Wowhead, like, oh my gosh, where are these runes at? The community was very talkative to each other. Everybody was in the LFGs talking to runes and like, yo, did you find this rune? Did you go to this rune? Bumping into each other. World PvP was great at level 25. It was just fun. It was a very like, everybody was in like this very enjoyable nutshell experience, which I really enjoyed. And it was dope. I really liked it. And then phase 2 came. Obviously, it had its issues. The drama started happening with retail, a feeling of what Nomer felt like. People pretty much exemplified it as being like retail, right? But phase 2 still had some promise, right? And then people were still playing. Classes didn't get as much love. People were getting shitted on, for example, like warriors and rogues. It wasn't a good time for them then. But even in phase 1, casters early on, before the changes to Calvus and so on within that dungeon, they didn't have love in the very early beginning. So the scales were balancing off each other. But then phase 3 came, right? And then now is where like the things are starting to find it hit its plateau of how fun this phase truly is. Sunken Temples are right at best. It's not, anything amazing. I think for, the first couple weeks after the nerfs, it was like kind of okay. But at this point now, it's like, it's whatever. And the gear wasn't really amazing. It was kind of lackluster. The rewards feel like they're meh at best. And overall, I wouldn't blame people for even skipping this phase and just waiting to the last phase. So it's one of those type of phases, what I'm getting at. Not the best in the world, not the worst in the world, but definitely not something appetizing, so to say, okay? It's like having a decent appetizer at a restaurant, but it's alright, it'll hold you off, but you're ready for the main course, right? And getting to phase 4 is that main course. The doors opening up, the talent points, people being accessible to try out new runes, because they're obviously going to add new runes, right, to different slots of gear. I'm assuming the jewelry, the neck piece, etc. Just any pieces of the jewelry around that area, the cloak as well, that's another area to add a rune. And then obviously, the new areas that we get to truly go through level up within the other dungeons, and obviously 20-man MC, Molten Core, that's going to be very intriguing as well. And just going and exploring the game as it is, seeing what they have added, new weapons, new gear, gear that has been, fixed and up to date with like new properties. There's a lot of stuff, right, to basically venture out into when it comes to the door finally opening next phase. And I really hope that we go somewhere massive with this. And this is why there's so much radio silence over there at Blizzard's headquarters. And I will say this before I continue, because I'm not the type of guy that likes to rip people to shreds without giving some like understanding going on, right? I feel like, honestly, I gotta give credit to where credit is due at the end of the day, to the devs for making Season of Discovery in the first place. It's something that we're all doing. Without Sod, my channel probably wouldn't even be here, guys. So I am grateful as a content creator and as a player for Sod in the first place. But second of all, I will say that I do understand that, probably, not probably, but development in itself is not easy. It's not something that happens, overnight. And I got to give credit where credit is due. And I respect, Blizzard for pumping out the content and pumping out the stuff that they have done already within Season of Discovery. And I hope that they are truly busting their ass and working hard and giving a shit about SOD as much as we as a community care about Season of Discovery. Because at the end of the day, it's a phenomenal version of WoW. We all like playing it. Regardless of its issues, it's not perfect. Yes, world PvP and PvP in general is a situation we will discuss in a little bit. The raids itself, it does, like as of recently with Sunken Temple, is like kind of whatever, loot being underwhelming, etc. And obviously not seeing a lot of more innovative ideas of what we truly want to see as content creators and also players alike within Season of Discovery. So we can talk about that, discuss with one another, and that's stuff like we want to go through with, right? But overall, in general, though, yeah, I gotta say I'm very appreciative of them for SOD in general. This is what I will say. However, on the flip side, is that I hope it's truly being worked on with passion and driven with, you know, actual exploration of where we are going with the next phase. Because if they don't knock it out the park, it is going to be very, very worrisome. There will be future videos, of course, talking about this. But I am having concerns about if they are not truly putting all their coins into SOD and just putting this more into things like Kata and putting this more into other things like, you know, for example, Plunder Storm, War Within, etc., and other versions of World of Warcraft. Because I see a lot of blue posts lately, even with Kata, and I understand, you know, they got to cover the firestorm that's going over there at Kata with, you know, the bugs and issues that were happening over there, and I totally understand that. But at the end of the day, SOD is what really has pumped the subscriber count up. When we saw the Blizzard conference thing many months ago, when we saw the numbers going back up, Season Discovery was a part of that, on the rise of subscribers and people coming back to the game. So I would really like to see all hands on deck when it comes to SOD. So as much as I'm going to say I am appreciative to Blizzard, at the same time I could say let's also watch Blizzard, you know, and let's also be cautious of what they do, because at the end of the day, we can't trust anyone. We got to just trust, you know, we got to trust the process. We got to see what happens in the next couple weeks leading into next phase. So that's enough discussion about that. Let's talk about, obviously, PvP, right? As far as the PvP goes, I think, you know, we went from a couple weeks now of 3 tests. We went through the change on the weekend when we had, you know, the week R, or sorry, the weekend change to the damage reduction R. You know I like to stutter. It's not my fault. If I stuttered again, somebody knock me the fuck out. I give you permission. Much love to you. However, though, so that week 1 aura, you know, we had issues. The healing was still a little too powerful. Warriors felt really fucking good week 1, and they had a really good place within PvP. But the healing and other classes had, you know, minor imbalances. Obviously, you know, healing in general needed to be tuned down or toned down a little bit because it felt too much like phase 1 early on in the BGs when it was Warsong Gulch and the healing was just way too powerful and games would last way too long. Week 2, the things changed as well, and then obviously they made increases to Mortal Strike, and they toned down the healing. They actually toned down the damage reduction by a certain percentage by both melee and casters, and then obviously now in week 3, they only toned down healing and buffed Mortal Strike by a small percentage. Now we're about to go into week 4, and I will have to say this. I don't think the answer to all the problems is the aura itself. I like the aura. I think the aura has potential. I vouch for the aura because I think I can see what they're doing if they don't decide to go with some type of PvP, TBC style resilience gear. But overall, if this is the answer that they want to go with, this is what we have to play our cards with. You know what I mean? This is what obviously is on the table. And we got to make do what we have on the table and discuss how we can improve it on the table itself. You know what I'm saying? So, in general, I think, you know, if they keep, you know, doing this aura, I hope they also announce the stuff that they are seeing within PvP. Because as far as, like, you know, content creator players aside, like, obviously, we're just as a fucking regular Joe, we're going in there. You know what I mean? We're the ones going in there, and we're playing the game. We're in there. We know what it's like. We know what's happening. We're testing it ourselves. Our biases aside, and what classes we, you know, like to, you know, be fucking sucking off and be high with our egos on. You know, obviously I'm a paladin. I'm always going to swing the righteous hammer. All right, settle down. Not that type of video. You guys are freaks. However, though, but yes, I will always be swinging the hammer. And I love my class, right? And I also been playing a lot of Warlock and learning the ropes with that. And, you know, now I'm starting to learn some stuff about tanking with the lock. It's, you know, I'm just studying. And I like, you know, enjoying the classes overall. But I will tell you what I've noticed on both the Alliance and Horde side is that even for the past couple days, as of recently, the Alliance have been getting their ass stomped in BGs, especially around, and I'll tell you the time frame, because maybe it's not all day long, but at least I'll tell you my time frame. Around, I would say, 8 o'clock Eastern to like 3 in the morning Eastern, Alliance get their ass stomped. And I'm talking raw dogged, straight diddied. And it seems like they like it. Much love to them, though. And it's literally horrible. I played on the Horde perspective, 20-0. We would just stomp people. Played on the Alliance perspective, maybe I'll get a 4-1, maybe. Or 5-1, maybe. But then we'll go on 1-10, 1-15. It gets bad. it gets bad. And from what, like I said, what I've noticed from BGs in general is that even though the aura is good, there obviously is imbalances with, both on the aligned side and both on the horde side. And us further discussing finding the sweet spot between class abilities, how much damage a class does, how much healing a class does, what ability needs to maybe be on a longer CD, etc. We can find that out as a community, hopefully come to some type of sweet spot. But I also hope too, this is where I'm really getting at, all right? And this has nothing to really do with anything of the player base, but more of the developers. I'm curious of what developer is actually seeing this firsthand. Are any of the developers over there at Season Discovery playing PvP and actually going in there and seeing the problems themselves? And that's what I want to know, because I know, like, you're asking, like, the community for feedback, and I'm a firm believer in community feedback. I think community feedback is a good thing. They get to tell you what's going on. Maybe you base it on a poll. You have discussions. Now, I know sometimes community feedback can be a bit of a fucking shit show, and there's a lot of trolls on this game that you just don't pay a mind to. Listen, even sometimes people come to my channel and they just be saying shit. I don't pay no mind to them, because you just got to leave these trolls alone. They have no idea what's right for the game, and they just talk out of their ass. Totally understand that. However, though, I'm very curious to see what developers are actually experiencing, if they are doing BGs, if you guys are getting within there and testing out the battleground, seeing what classes are doing a little too much of this, a little too much of that, or maybe within World PvP or in Stranglethorn Vale, during the event. I'm just very curious to see the perspective of that, because I feel like that's something I never hear. I never hear from anywhere, not within the Discords, not within the forum posts, not on Twitter, not on, blue posts in general. And when I meant forum posts, I meant like Reddit or, Blizzard forum posts in general. But I'm just saying, I never hear about it. So I'm very curious to see what the answer is to that. And I'm almost believing that they don't do that at all, and they just rely on the players, which is fine. But like, it would be nice to see from their firsthand perspective of, like, let's say having a class versus another class and seeing how this class disadvantages this class by tenfold within a BG or within a 1v1 scenario, or however they want to test it. Completely up to them. I don't, it's not my ballpark to test it. I obviously, do it on my own because I love, PvP in Classic. I've just always enjoyed Classic PvP. I enjoyed the charm to it, even though obviously some classes have always had like this a natural advantage over others. I still enjoy, having the ability to, win the fight, and there's always that chance, depending on what you're bringing to the fight. So overall, that's all I want to say about PvP, and I really am looking forward to, seeing your reactions and comments below. And I hope you enjoyed this part of the video as well. So much love to you, amigos. Now, to go off into another segment, Mop Remix, Mr. Pandera. Okay, coming out, I believe, in 2 days from now. Your boy's gonna be playing it. I'm gonna be trying it out. We might even make videos on it if it's actually that good. I want to see what it's about, all right? Because obviously right now, in the terms of World of Warcraft content when it comes to Season of Discovery, there's so much your boy can do with inside, right? But I don't want to bore you guys. I don't want to talk about the same things over and over again until we see new things. So I got to be honest with you. I'm going to try out MOP. I'm going to give it a shot. I want to see what it's all about, test out this new style of remix mode that they are doing, and, see where we go from there, see if we like it or not. And maybe I'll come out with a response video at some point, maybe titling, Mr. Pandera Remix, or however we'll title it. I'm sure the editor will figure it out before we kill him in Minecraft. Settle down, not that type of video. You know what I'm talking about. But yes, we're gonna definitely play that. It's gonna be fun. And then hopefully it's fun, and then, give you my opinion on it. Of course, we're going to be playing a paladin, because that's the only class to play, for sure, absolutely. But that's going to be, a little bit of a venture. I'm really ready to test that out, give that a try, and hell, if it's even fun as, it claims to be, from the trailer, there's a lot of hype around it, basically showing all the areas and zones that you can go through, like back in the day, and how your character can transfer over into, I believe, War Within, and you get to keep all the transmogs and mounts and all the stuff that you get to do within MOP Remix, and which carries over within retail. And it seems like, just seems like a genuine time to have with some buds, if you have some, friends that want to play the game and just have a good time. So we'll give it a test, let you know the pros and cons about it and what I feel firsthand experience of it. And we also will be streaming it when it's out. I know it comes out on the 16th, which I do believe is a Thursday. I normally only do Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, but you know what? We might make an exception for that night and then go from there. However, though, yeah, that's on the to-do list for, you know, the next couple days is Mott Remix. So I'm very much looking forward to that and giving that a try, and I hope you guys don't mind that style of content if we decide to go down that route. Of course, we will always be doing Season of Discovery no matter what, because I love SOD. I'm going to support SOD, you know, through the mud, through the dirt. I'm going to go with SOD no matter what, and we're going to ride this baby out until this ship crashes right into the ground. Most likely it will. Phase 4 is not banging. However, though, I'm still going to be rocking out with you guys through thick and hell, no matter what, and this is my, you know, this is my life. This is my love. I love doing this stuff for you guys, you know, doing this style of videos and content, so I hope you enjoy it. And finally, on a last note, separate from Season of Discovery, separate from World of Warcraft, as of today, very curious about this new Diablo season. It's I don't know how we're going about this. I don't know if I'm going to be playing it. But the one thing I will say, alright, which I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to play it tonight, and maybe I'll level up like a druid or necromancer, you know, maybe try it out. But I will say this. How the fuck have we not added a crusader to I almost said Season of Discovery. Unbelievable. Let's get back to SOD, guys, alright? Pack the video up. However, how the fuck are we not putting a crusader within Diablo 4? Where's the new character? It's already been a couple seasons already. This is ridiculous. Maybe in the next expansion or something, but it just makes no sense. There's no paladin. There's no monk. There's no witch doctor. What the fuck are we doing? I mean, come on, man. At least something. Whatever. That's a side note. I know that has nothing to do with the WoW video, right? But I'm just saying your boy's gonna try it out. I tried it out months ago. When I finally stopped playing, like way long time ago, when I used to do older videos of Diablo on my channel, and I just gave up on it because I was just so bored of Diablo. It didn't hit the same, you know. It wasn't as good as D2 Resurrected, in my opinion. But in general, though, we'll give it a shot. We'll call it the final straw, or unless they decide to announce a paladin coming out for their game, or crusader. So we'll see what happens. Anywho, listen, that's basically the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's mainly just a lot of discussion, a lot of talking, but I hope you like the style of video sometimes. We're just, you know, interacting with one another, and it's really not much any gameplay, just, you know, us talking, because I like doing these, you know, type of VODs. However, though, much love, amigos. I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, keep on keeping on, amigos. One for the Hydration Nation. Oh, yes, indeed. Very nice. That is about 3 gold and 27 silver, no copper. However, much love to you. So, editor, I swear, man, listen, I want to end these videos. I have no idea what to say. If someone's going to get shot, they're going to get shot now. Oh, wait a minute. Sir, is that a burger? Let me get a bite.